Hi students, today we'll learn basic multiplying and factoring of polynomials. Let's begin with this warm-up. Go ahead and pause the screen and subtract these polynomials. Okay, now that you're done, your first step should have been to distribute this negative sign to everything inside on both of these problems, and then combine like terms. Go ahead and look at the final answers here and check your work that you have. Okay, at the end of this lesson, you should be able to distribute with binomials and factor along polynomials. Here's the first one. We're going to multiply this monomial with this binomial here. We multiply by distributing this 3x to everything that's inside. So first we'll do 3x times x. That gives us 3x squared. Notice that when we multiply, we add the exponents like we learned last chapter. And then 3x times 10 would be 30x. And we can leave it just like that. Okay, looking at example 2, we're going to take the 4y squared and distribute it to everything inside. So first, let's do 4y squared times 9y to the third. 4 times 9 is 36. Y squared times y to the third is y to the fifth. Again, notice we're adding the exponents. 4y squared times 8y squared, so we need the plus sign in between. 4 times 8 is 32. Y squared times y squared is y to the fourth. And lastly, 4y squared times negative 11, so we need the negative sign. 4 times 11 is 44y squared. Okay, and that's how we multiply by distributing to these terms here. Let's talk about factoring now. So factoring is really reversing the process that we just saw previously. So notice the connection, let me go to this page, between our answer here and how the problem started. So in this case, we need to reverse it. We need to take out common terms here and put it back into parentheses like this, with the common term out in front. So let's think how we're going to do this. Look at our first term, 4x squared. So breaking this down, 4 is, the factors of 4 are 1 and 4, and 2 and 2, because 2 times 2 is 4. And x squared is just x and x. Okay, looking at 2x, the only factors of 2x would be 1 and 2, because 1 times 2 is 2. And it just has 1x here. So when we think about what these have in common, let's circle those to make it easier. So the factors of 4 and the factors of 2 that are in common is just this 2 and this 2. And the x's that are in common would just be that they include 1x. So the GCF, the greatest common factor of both terms, is 2x. They both have a 2 and they both have an x. So now let's see what's left over here. So for 4x squared, I'm thinking 2x times something must give me 4x squared. This has to be a 2 because 2 times 2 is 4. And also another x because x times x will give me x squared. Now looking at the second part, 2x times something will give me 2x. That is just a 1. So that's my final answer, factoring, putting this back into parentheses. Okay, let's look at example 6 now. So we're going to do the same thing. We need to put this back into parentheses, reverse the process of distribution by finding the GCF. Okay, so for 3x to the fifth, the factors of 3 are just 1 and 3, and then I can list out 5 x's here. For 6x to the third. The factors would be 1 and 6, and 2 and 3. And then I need to list out 3 x's here. And lastly, the 2x term. The factors of 2 are just 1 and 2, and it's just 1x. Okay, circle what's in common in all of these. So there looks like there's a 3 in the first one, a 3 in the second one, and there is not a 3 in the last term. So I cannot use 3 as a common factor. Looks like the only common factor would be a 1 here. With the x's, I need to count up how many x's are in each one. And the only thing I can circle would be 1x in each of them. So it looks like my GCF would just be 1x or just x, because 1 is usually implied here. Okay, so now let's reverse this by thinking, what do I need to multiply to get 3x to the fifth? I definitely need a 3. And how many x's are left over? Well, look at the remaining here. There are 4 left. So I can just put 4 here. X times 3x to the fourth gives me 3x to the fifth. The second term, x times something, needs to give me 6x to the third. I definitely need to put a 6. And then count up how many x's are left here. So there's 2. So I put x squared. And lastly, x times something needs to give me 2x. And the only thing that's left is a 2. And you can see that right here. Okay. You guys try these 3 problems, and I'll see you in class tomorrow.